Hello everyone, welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and today let's talk about travel. So with minimalist travel or even just regular travel, one of the key factors you have to think about when you're booking your trip or preparing for your trip is deciding where you're going to stay. And I think this lodging question is something that's really important because even though you're in a destination to see various people or things or explore different areas that you haven't been before, our lodging makes a big difference. If we are really enjoying wherever we are staying, I think we're much more likely to have a positive experience in that destination. And likewise, a not so awesome lodging place can really put a damper on the trip. So it's definitely something that's really important. One question that many have is, should they book a hotel or on Airbnb? And there's some pros and cons. I think ultimately it does depend on your preference, but today's video is going to get into specific benefits and drawbacks with each of these platforms and ultimately give you some tips to help you make the best decision for yourself. As far as hotels, let's talk about some of the benefits of hotels. First of all, it's a more standardized service. In general, when you book a hotel, at least within the US, you are expecting the room to look a certain way, certain services to be provided, such as front desk service, breakfast available, Wi-Fi, some of those basic things. You can pretty much expect these things regardless of the chain or the type of room you get. These features are standardized. So with that, one drawback you might say of Airbnb is that you can't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get all of these exact services. That doesn't mean it's inherently worse, but it's not as easy to know exactly what you'll expect because it's going to be a different facility, different building, different room structure, wherever you're staying. Another advantage of hotel service is that you've got more so 24/7 access. When you arrive at the hotel, even if it is, exactly at 3 o'clock when you can first check in, or if it's like after midnight, you can count on there being front desk staff there who can assist you in various ways. In an Airbnb, you generally can check in places at a variety of times, but since you're more so on another person's schedule, unless they've got self-check-in set up, you do want to be a little bit more considerate and not check in at 2 in the morning, probably, unless it is a self-check-in situation. So with that can be really nice if you've got unpredictable days when you're not sure when you're going to check in somewhere or when you're going to check out. You know that there will always be staff there to help you. Another benefit of hotels is that there often are reward services. So maybe you are in a rewards program with a certain chain or family, and every time you stay a certain number of nights, maybe you're rewarded for those. You earn points, etc. Likewise, I know when we do book hotels, it tends to be through hotels.com, and there, after you book 10 nights, you get 1 night free. So there are incentives there when you are using some of these hotel-related sites. Now, let's get into Airbnb. What are some benefits that Airbnb provides? As I mentioned before, it's not a standardized experience, which means you could have a really unique and really exciting accommodations. There could be unique features at your Airbnb that are not present in your standard hotel chain. For example, when we stayed in Iceland, we actually were in a cabin on like a horse ranch. When we were in the US, in Eugene, Oregon, we stayed at a place where we had breakfast made to order for us, actually vegan breakfast, from someone who had worked as a former chef of a restaurant, just for the 2 of us. That was really cool. Even just some of the views that you get if you're staying in a place where there is a lot of nature and can be really up close and personal to a lot of different sites. We'll get into location in a little bit. Another benefit of using Airbnb is oftentimes you'll have more amenities. It depends on the place, but often there will be a kitchen included that you have access to, which can be nice if you want to prepare more of your own meals while you're traveling and not be stuck with just going out to eat. Sometimes there's laundry facilities available. So these can be some additional amenities that are available when you book on Airbnb. In most cases, if you're going to receive a more personalized experience with Airbnb, because chances are you are the guests that host is hosting, or maybe if they've got several rooms available, several guests, compared to at a standard hotel chain, you might have hundreds of guests who are also there. So you're going to receive a little bit more one-on-one attention at the Airbnb locations. Factors that are going to vary depending on the location as well as just what's available there have to do with cost and location. So first of all, cost. Generally, in our own experiences, we have found that Airbnbs can be cheaper. since we are often motivated by cost, what we'll do is pull up hotels.com and Airbnb for the location that we're looking to stay and compare prices. And oftentimes within the US and abroad, we have found that the hotels tend to be more expensive. It's always been surprising to me that even your standard chains that aren't like that fancy have been, in some cases, like $50 to $100 more per night than some of the Airbnb locations. That's definitely been one of the biggest factors that pushes us towards choosing Airbnb. An additional benefit of Airbnb is that you can rent a larger space. And so if you've got a large family traveling that might need multiple hotel rooms, it might be easier to rent out a house on Airbnb and also save costs that way. I think location is ultimately one of the most important factors to think about when booking lodging, and there are pros and cons to each of these sources once again. So location, I think, can be really helpful to book something that's very convenient for yourself or something that is very close to the locations or attractions that you want to visit. Depending on where you're booking, there may be certain options available. One advantage of booking with Airbnb is that it might feel like you get a more authentic experience because you might be in different neighborhoods where people live and get a sense of how the culture lives outside of those super touristy centers. There might be some really cool restaurants in that area. It might be a little bit away of some of the chaos of the tourist places, maybe more access to public transportation. So that could be an advantage. Likewise, I've also had Airbnb locations that were minutes by foot away from some of the top attractions. So a best example, in Italy, in several locations, we were minutes walk away from some of the top tourist attractions, and we didn't have to worry about arranging any transportation to get there. When we were in Los Angeles, we purposefully selected a location of an Airbnb that was walking distance to several of the restaurants we wanted to visit, as well as other attractions there. Depending on the place that you are trying to stay, you might have more options available. Now, we did, when we were traveling in Thailand and Dubai, we did go the route of a traditional hotel. Because of the location, we were more simply able to arrange tours from the hotels, as well as take advantage of some of the services that a hotel could provide. So it does really depend based on what you're looking for, as well as what options are available. Ultimately, I think we do prefer Airbnbs, and that's usually where I will lean to first or look to first if we are staying somewhere. One of the critiques of Airbnb by some is that it's maybe not as trustworthy as a hotel. My response to that statement would be that in general, you can either have a really positive night or sometimes really negative nights at either an Airbnb or hotel. It just really depends. Whenever you're booking somewhere, I think it can be helpful to look at reviews of what people have said, and that can give you a good sense of what that particular place of lodging might be like. We, in general, have had very great success with most of our stays because I do a lot of good research about the reviews of places and try to really choose something that's going to add value to us and make sense for us. So that would be my best tip. If you are interested in trying out Airbnb and you haven't yet done that, I actually will put a link in the description where you can get a discount off of your first stay. You just have to see what makes sense based upon your location and other factors that matter to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video with some travel advice. In general, if you guys are interested in minimalist content, we'd love to have you here as a subscriber at Abundantly Minimal. And I'll see you guys on Monday for our next video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.